And see the dance and hear the choir sing, a grace to your gentle shade. Mountain where Oedipus was found, O mountain guard of a noble race, may the God who heals us lend aid, and let his glory come to pass for our king's cradling ground. Of the nymphs that flower beyond the year, who bore you, royal child, to pan the hills of the Timberland Apollo, cold in delight where the upland clears, or Hermes for whom Kylan's heights are piled. For flushed as evening cloud, great Dionysus, roamer of mountains, he was who we found there, and caught up to you in his proud arms from the sweet god ravisher who laughed by Muses' fountains. Though I do not know the man, I think I see him coming. This shepherd we want, he is old like our friend here, and the men bringing up seem to be servants of my house. But you can tell, if you have ever seen him, by the servants. I know him, he was Laius' man, you can trust him. Tell me first, for you from Corinth, is this the shepherd we were discussing? This is the very man. Come here, now look at me, you must answer everything I ask. You belong to Laius? Yes, born his slave, brought up in his house. Tell me, what kind of work did you do for him? I was a shepherd of his, most of my life. Where mainly did you go for pasturage? Sometimes Kithaeron, sometimes the hills nearby. Do you remember ever seeing this man out there? What would he be doing there, this man? This man standing here, have you ever seen him before? No, at least, not to my recollection. And this is not strange, my lord, but I'll refresh his memory. He must remember when he spent 3 seasons together, March to September, on Kythron or thereabouts. He had 2 flocks, I had 1. Each autumn I'd drive mine home, and he would go back when Laius' sheepfold is this not true, just as I had described it? True, yes, but it was all so long ago. Well then, do you remember back in those days that you gave me a baby born to bring up as my own? What if I did? What are you trying to say? King Oedipus was once that little child. Damn you, hold your tongue. No more of that. Is that your tongue needs watching, not this man's. My king, my master, what is it I have done wrong? You have not answered to his question about the boy. He does not know. He is only making trouble. Come, speak plainly or I will go hard with you. In God's name did you torture an old man? Come here, one of you, his arms behind him. Unhappy king, what more do you wish to learn? Did you give this man the child he speaks of? I did, and I would to God I had died that very day. You will die now unless you speak the truth. Yet, if I speak the truth, I am worse than dead. Very well, since you insist upon delaying. No, I have told you already that I gave him the boy. Where did you get him? From your house? From somewhere else? Not from mine. No, a man gave him to me. Is that man here? Do you know whose slave he was? For God's love, my king, do not ask any more. You are a dead man, I'll have to ask you again. Then the child was from the palace of Laios, a slave child or a child born of his own line. I am on the brink of a dreadful speech, and I of a dreadful hearing, yet I must hear. If you must be told then said it was Laios' child, but it is your wife who can tell you about that. My wife, did she give it to you? My lord, she did. Do you know why? I was told to get rid of it. An unspeakable mother. There had been prophecies. Tell me. It was said that the boy would kill his own father. Then why did you give him over to this old man? I pitied the baby, my king, and I thought that this man would take far away to his own country. He saved him, but for what a fate. For if you are what this man says you are, no man living is more wretched than Oedipus. Ah, God, it was true, all the prophecies now. I, Oedipus damned in his birth and his marriage. O light, may I look on you for the last time, damned in the blood he shed with his own hand. Alas for the seed of men! What measure shall I give these generations that I breathe on the void and exist do not exist? Who bears more weight of joy than the mass of sunlight shifting on images? Or who shall make his thoughts stay on that town drives this way? Your splendor is fallen, O naked brow, wrath and tears, O change of Oedipus. I who saw your days call no man's blessed. Your great days like ghosts gone. That mind was a strong bow. Deep, deep, how deep you drew it, hard archer, at a dim of a fearful range, and I brought dear glory down. You overcome the stranger, the virgin, with her hooking lion claws, and though death sang stood like a tower to make the pale Thebes take heart, fortress against our sorrow. True giver, giver of laws, majestic Oedipus. No prince in Thebes had such renown, no prince won such grace power. And now all of men ever know, most pitiful in this man's story, his fortunes are most changed, his state fallen to a low slave's ground under bitter fate.